We'll start with the most recent of crappy news, and it's not shocking given some of the stuff that came out at the end of last week, but Lance McCullers Jr.'s season is over. He's undergoing a procedure to repair a right flexor tendon, remove a bone spur, so he's having forearm surgery, for those who don't understand the medical stuff, because I certainly don't.
He actually already had it. He had the surgery last night, according to Dana Brown.
Yeah, I'm reading the release here from the Astros officially, and it's in past tense. McCullers has right forearm surgery. So his season's over, and it's not shocking given how this year has played out. It seems like every time anyone in the media would ask for an update on Lance, it was never a great update. It was always, well, he's picking up the baseball, and he might play catch later this week, or he's doing some stuff. Maybe he can get on the mound. And then the one time he did get on the mound, you find out he has a setback. And when you talk about a guy who's got a history of injuries, who's a starting pitcher in this league, it kind of felt like this is where things were headed. So it's disappointing, but I don't think any Astros fan is that shocked that Lance's season is over.
Yeah, unfortunate but expected. I'll echo your sentiment, Jake. I mean, once we had the most recent setback announcement regarding Lance McCullers Jr., I think every Astros fan, even the most positive and optimistic Astros fan, kind of assumed that the writing was on the wall and that, McCullers was not going to pitch at all during the 2023 season. And now we get official confirmation of that. And what a disappointment, man. I had held out hope that this dude was going to come back to the rotation at some point this season. I'd repeatedly said, hey, man, if he is a repeat of the 2022 year, that's fine with me. Obviously, that doesn't make him worth his contract, and obviously you want more than just 8 starts in the regular season and then a couple of postseason appearances. But if McCullers was able to replicate what he did last year this year, then all right, I would have felt great about the Astros' chances to repeat as World Series champs, because Lance McCullers was pretty important in the postseason. I know his World Series start wasn't great, but he did a lot in the first couple of rounds to help the Astros get to the Fall Classic. So it would have been nice, considering JV's not here, considering Luis Garcia's already out for the season, it would have been nice to, at some point this year, get Lance McCullers Jr. back into the rotation. It would have felt kind of like a trade deadline acquisition, even if it happened after the trade deadline. But once again, the writing's kind of been on the wall over the last couple of weeks, and now it's official. And this statement, Jake, says McCullers is expected to return to pitching during the 2024 season. So it's not like, he's going to be good to go by the time we get to spring training. He's going to be good to go by the time we get to opening day. No, it's just like kind of vague. It's at some point next year, McCullers should be back. And, well, that sucks that this is where we're at with him once again.
This injury, by the way, dates back to Game 4 of the 2021 ALDS. It says in the release.
Yeah.
The tendon was aggravated while throwing a bullpen session in West Palm Beach in February of this season. But the original injury happened in that start that ended his postseason in 2021.
So I'm at an internal crossroads here, Jake. Like, what the Astros should have done is they should have gotten the surgery, or Lance McCullers should have gotten the surgery. The Astros should have helped him come to that decision. The surgery should have been done in that offseason, after the 2021 year. So McCullers might have missed the entirety of 2022, but they would have taken care of the injury, and he would have been good to go during the 2023 season this year. That's what the Astros should have done, right? But instead, they decided to slow play this. They decided to avoid surgery. And look, most guys don't want to go under the knife, so I get Lance McCullers Jr. trying to avoid that. And the Astros were hoping that, all right, maybe rest is going to be a good enough medicine to fix this thing, so let's just try it. And it didn't work. So in hindsight, they made a mistake. The internal crossroads that I'm at is, once again, Lance McCullers helped this team win a World Series last year. So if he did get the surgery last season, he wouldn't have been a part of anything last season. Now, could the Astros still have won the World Series last year without Lance McCullers? Probably. They went 11-2 in the playoffs. They went through most of the regular season without him. So there's reason to believe they still could have gotten it done, even if McCullers didn't come back. But he did come back, and he did help the team win. So obviously it sucks. It feels like this thing could be completely behind us right now if the Astros had just made sure the surgery got done right after that American League Division Series, or at least right after the 2021 postseason came to an end for this team. They decided not to. But on the other hand, I guess deciding not to sort of helped the Astros clinch the World Series. I'm sure there are people who are like, shut up, EK, that's a stupid thought, but that's sort of the internal crossroads that I'm going through right now. But once again, like you said, it's frustrating that we're still going through this, and this is basically going to be an injury that lasts 3 years, because it happened in 2021, and he's going to come back at some point in 2024. So he's been dealing with effects of Game 4 of that ALDS for 3 seasons, or I guess it'll end up being 3 seasons when it's all said and done.
Final point on Lance before we get to the Jordan situation. Man, did he do the right thing signing that contract when he did. He signed a 5-year, $85 million contract a couple of years ago. It kicked in last year. The extension started. So Lance McCullers Jr. is locked up through the end of the 2026 season. And he'll be 32 years old at that point, so he could maybe, if he proves he could stay somewhat healthy when he eventually comes back, he can maybe get another opportunity to strike big and get another long-term deal. But let's be real. If Lance had not signed that extension, coming off the injuries he's dealt with, as you just outlined, we're talking about a guy that would make nowhere near that $85 million fully guaranteed deal that he signed that went into effect last year.
No doubt. Looking like a great deal for him and not so great of a deal for the Astros. At this point, I guess the hope is that he can be like Justin Verlander. Now, McCullers is not as good as JV. He's not going to be winning Cy Youngs once he comes back, but that was obviously a major topic of conversation for Astros fans for a couple of years. It's why do we give Justin Verlander this contract? He's just stealing money because he can't pitch. Well, he bounces back, has a great year, wins the Cy Young, helps the Astros win a World Series. So most people aren't too upset about the wasted money that JV was for at least a couple of years. It'd be nice for McCullers to he's already done a lot as a Houston Astro, but it'd be nice for him to end his Astros career on a positive note by coming back, pitching well here for a couple of years, helping this team continue to stay competitive in the American League and across all of baseball. And that's where we have to turn at this point. We got to give up on this year. We just hope that in the future, McCullers can make that contract a little more valuable than it has been to this point, and the bar's pretty low.
Then there's Jordan Alvarez, who yesterday, before the game, Dusty Baker would not reveal whether or not Jordan got an MRI, even though Dana Brown had said previously, yeah, Jordan's going to get an MRI. So then you have what happened, though, after the game. Dusty Baker a little more open on what exactly is going on with Jordan Alvarez's injury.
Jordan's a ways off, so, we had to carry on until he gets back.
Okay. Well, if you want more on that, Bob Nightingale of USA Today is reporting that Jordan Alvarez could miss 4 to 6 weeks, that the Astros are targeting late July for the return of Jordan Alvarez. And if you heard Dana Brown's comments on KMBE earlier today, talking about Jordan's injury, saying it's going to take at least 2 weeks to see how he's healing, then another week to see if he's doing any baseball activities. So that's 3 weeks right there before he starts doing anything. And then Nightingale tweets what he tweeted before our show today. Sounds like Jordan Alvarez is going to be out for a while. So you lose Altuve for the first month and a half of the year, and now you lose Jordan Alvarez potentially till the end of July.
Yeah, I'll give Cody some credit. I thought he was being overly pessimistic when he said Jordan wasn't going to be back until after the All-Star break, but unfortunately he was dead on. And you mentioned it, 4 to 6 weeks. They're targeting late July for a return, and this sucks. I guess the silver lining here, Jake, is that Jose Abreu can keep hitting well. I think it's clear and obvious at this point that Jordan was holding him back. Since Jordan went down, Abreu's 8 for 23. He's got 2 homers and 7 RBIs. He's raised his season average 13 points. The OPS has gone up 37 points. So I guess that's the silver lining. We've got 4 to 6 weeks of Abreu being back of baseball card Abreu, but obviously you can't replace Jordan Alvarez. He's one of the best hitters in all of baseball. He leads the team in just about everything, and it sucked originally when we thought this might be a 2-week injury, and obviously it sucks more that this thing might be 4 to 6 weeks. So, yeah, the other guys are going to have to step up. It's going to be by committee for the Houston Astros because, once again, there's not one guy in this team. I don't know if there's one guy on the planet who can replace Jordan Alvarez by himself. He's just that good. He's that valuable. He's that important to this Astros ball club. But the other guys are going to have to step up. The highest paid guys. You talk about Lance McCullers Jr. making a lot of money. Jose Abreu, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve. Those are your 3 highest paid players on this Astros ball club this year. They need to step up and they need to play like it. And of course, Kyle Tucker, he's not in the highest paid conversation, but he's trying to be the highest paid player on the team or on a team, an opportunity for him. So the Stars absolutely need to step up. Obviously, McCormick and Myers and Dubon and Jolks and Diaz, those guys have been nice stories. They've stepped up and made some plays at times this season, but those guys aren't going to bring it every night, or at least you can't expect them to bring it every night. It's going to have to be the highly paid guys and the super talented guys, the perennial all-stars who carry the weight while big number 44 is out. So, yeah, it's an opportunity for the Astros here. Rangers are slipping up a little bit. The Astros have a relatively easy schedule over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a little bit tougher without Jordan Alvarez there, though, but hopefully those other big bats can make it happen and keep this team afloat.